Thank you, Kornopoli Shipbuilders, being the major part of this event. Now I request today's chief guest, Rear Admiral Mr. Khurshid Alam, Honorable Secretary, to come on stage, and also request today's special guest, Her Excellency Mrs. Mary Masdoupoui, Ambassador of the Republic of France, His Excellency Mr. Said Ahmed Maruf, High Commissioner of Pakistan, and Mr. Bernd Spanier, Deputy Head of Mission Delegation of the EU to Bangladesh. Please come on stage. Please give them a big hand. Ladies and gentlemen, now I request Mr. Bernd Spanier, Deputy Head of Mission Delegation of the EU Bangladesh, to give his valuable speech. Mr. Bernd, please come.
Thank you very much. Great pleasure to be here. I have to admit, ever since I visited Chittagong last year, I've become a big fan of the shipping industry here, because it's a fascinating sector. And thank you for the very kind words on what the EU is doing. Let me just say that shipping is such a fascinating sector because it's the backbone of global trade. So around 80% of the world trade in goods is carried by the international shipping industry. And European ship owners run about 40% of the world's merchant fleet and operate shipping services all over the world. And this includes the trade between the EU and Bangladesh. As was said correctly, European Union is Bangladesh's largest export market. And as a result, the shipping industry plays a critical role in transporting your exports to the EU. In doing so, the shipping sector has directly supported the export industry, and with it the jobs, the growth, and the rising standards of living this country has seen in the past decades. So it's also an important sector in other parts of our daily lives. I mean, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the shipping industry was vital when it was supplying the world with food and medicine. It was at a time when many of the planes were stalled on the fields, but the ships were running. So far, so good. But I would also like to focus on the climate aspect of the maritime transportation. So trade between countries and continents, when you look at it, shipping is actually the most eco-friendly way of transportation, at least when you compare it to aviation, for instance. But still, it doesn't come without problems. So maritime transport emits approximately 940 million tons of carbon dioxide annually, and this is about 2.5% of the global greenhouse emissions in the world. So if this sector was a country, it would be the 6th largest emitter in the world. I have to repeat that. If the shipping industry was a country, it would be the 6th biggest polluter in the world. And this is because mostly the use of heavy fuel oil. This is the most widely used fuel in the maritime sector. This fuel is particularly polluting, and it emits greenhouse gases such as sulfur dioxide that are very, very harmful to human health and the ecosystem. So the use of these kind of fuels is no longer sustainable from both an ecological point of view, but also from an economical point of view. Therefore, maritime decarbonization has become, we can say that, a global necessity. And as always, when there are global problems, these need global responses. And this is why the European Union played an active role in driving forward the 2023 greenhouse gas strategy of the International Maritime Organization that sets a goal of net zero emissions from ships by and around 2050. So this is a bit more than 2 decades to go, 2.5 decades to go, to become net zero in emissions in this industry. And how do we want to do this? How do we want to achieve this? Well, by using alternative fuels and other technical solutions. And for that, the maritime sector needs investments into energy efficiency and innovative infrastructure, such as green ports. Some EU ship owners have already taken the first step. So the first investments are going into the development of clean solutions such as shoreside electrification. I had to look this up. Shoreside electrification means you can plug in your ship when you're at the port to sort of recharge your facilities. Then there's wind power transport. Modern cargo ships in the future, to a certain degree, will run with a big high-tech sails. And there's the use of fuels based on clean hydrogen. So ports are starting to offer shoreside electrification solutions in Europe already. Some large shipping lines are preparing to operate the ocean container vessels on carbon neutral e-methanol or sustainable biomethanol, and they do that as soon as possible. To meet the IMO goal of alternative fuels by in the next couple of decades, the Bangladeshi shipping sector can build on the partnership with the European Union as a trusted partner. Because Europe is not only a global leader in shipping, it's also a leader in green transition in the global shipping industry. So concretely, the European Union is supporting IMO to establish a global network of maritime technology cooperation centers in developing countries, and the aim is to help beneficial countries to limit and reduce their greenhouse gas emissions from the shipping sectors through technical assistance and capacity building. So in short, technology transfer. That's what we're offering to you coming from the European Union. Finally, the shipping sector has been an important component, as was mentioned, the EU-Bangladesh Cooperation Agreement back in 2001. It will also be an important priority in the upcoming new generation EU-Bangladesh Partnership Cooperation Agreement. Therefore, the EU will support Bangladesh in driving its green transition in the shipping sector, as we have supported Bangladesh to move forward with renewable energy in the manufacturing sector. Everybody knows this. So, in short, what you have done in the garment sector, having the highest number of green factories in the world, you can also do in the shipping sector, and we are here to help you. Thank you very much.